First Nation and Native American Reservation Sightings, Part 20. Qu'Appelle Valley in Saskatchewan. The Qu'Appelle Valley today is home to the Plains Cree, the Saulteaux, and the Dakota Indians. It was also occupied by the Gros Ventres at Sena. Dr. Peter Rubeck, a marine biologist in Florida, shared some interesting data with me in 2004. His informant, a woman who in 2003 exchanged emails with a First Nation man in Alberta, Canada, wrote down his observations. The subject of Sasquatch special powers was at the time an ongoing, if not rather spirited, discussion on the deeply paranormal BFNA list run by John Eric Bechtert. In the following excerpts, a First Nation man is responding to questions put to him by Dr. Peter Rubeck. Rubeck: what special powers are attributed to the Sasquatch, if any, specifically the ability to confuse or hypnotize humans? The Alberta First Nation man replied on October 4th the following: that's some question. I think you're referring to Bigfoot. If that's so, then I have to say no. The interesting part of your question does bring back a memory of an incident when I was 9 or 10 years old. We had a trap line which stretched erratically through the forested area near our home. Sometime in January, my mother and I were walking this trap line. We came across a trail coming from the northwest, going southwest. At first, we thought a horse had traveled there. On closer inspection, we found that they were footprints. The problem with this is that they were very large, like a super large human. My mother put both feet in one track, heel to toe, and there was still plenty of room all around. Then she stepped off the distance between the footprints. It took 3 of her steps before she reached the other imprint. The heel and toe prints were very clear in some of the step marks. All she said then was some native word, looked around and said, "Let's go." We went home right then without checking the other traps. Today we bring that topic up once in a while. She'll say that the Indians knew about them, Bigfoot, for a long time. Hope I may have shed some light on your question. The next correspondence was dated the same day, only later. Rubeck, subject: more info from my Indian contact. I thought of mentioning this to you in the last email, but your question was specific. Did I see one of the big creatures? At the beginning of August, I received a phone call from a friend of mine who lives in the Qu'Appelle Valley in Saskatchewan. This valley spans 3 Canadian provinces: Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Throughout its system, it is connected by rivers and lakes. Along the shores of this system are located many First Nation reserves, Indian-owned land. The person who phoned me said that a hunter from their reserve was in the hills overlooking the lake. It was early morning, and down below, along the shore, he saw a family of 5 of the big creatures, a male and female, and 3 smaller ones. He watched them from his hilltop for about 3 hours before they went back into the hills. Although he had a rifle with him, he said he never thought of using it. He said they looked very human and exhibited many human characteristics, same with their anatomy. They were reddish-brown in color. The male and female were approximately 7 to 8 feet tall, and the smaller ones from 5 feet and smaller. Over the years, several people have seen them. They let them go about their business. I asked if they reported this sighting to the media. They said no. It was thought that they should be left undisturbed. Just thought I would answer your question with more depth and confirmation. Let me know if you want a better description of what this hunter and several of his friends saw. Then on October 7th, 2003, Rubeck's First Nation correspondent wrote, "Sorry I couldn't get back to you a little quicker. I was in meetings during the weekend and most of today. I have not yet contacted my mother on the name she said when she seen the tracks. I will find out and email that to you. It is obvious that she knew what she saw that day. She has told the family some of the stories that her people handed down to her through the generations. One of them was before the Europeans came to this country. Her people, the Assiniboine, Nakota nations, and their territory spanned a large area from what is now central Alberta from the base of the Rocky Mountains, southward to the Little Rockies, upward through Montana and through part of North Dakota, and northward to the North Saskatchewan River, and from there back to the mountains in Alberta. During the winter months, they would make their camp at the base of the Rocky Mountains. She said for several winters, the big man of the mountains came to her people's camp. They had a teepee for him. He mingled with the tribe and apparently got on very well with them. They could understand each other well, and the big man told them many things. In the spring, when they would leave to continue their travels, the big man would return to the mountains. This went on for many years, and occasionally he would bring others of his kind with him. When settlement of the area became the norm, his visits became less and less. One season he never returned. I thought this a rather odd story at the time, till one day I was researching the elders' statement of Treaty Number 7 in Alberta, and one of the elders from the area made mention of this, so I believe that this is a true fact. You mentioned that when you see them that you have a difficult time concentrating or focusing your attention. I was speaking to an elder from the province of Manitoba about them one time, about 5 years ago. I asked him how it was that nobody can get close to the big ones. What he told me was that they had the hiding medicine. When they want to stay hidden, they can, and when they want to show themselves, they do. Your research sounds very interesting. There are a lot of things we don't know about in this world we live in. The signature of the First Nation man was concealed. Dr. Peter Rubick, Florida, 2003. Okemos First Nation track discovered. The discovery of a footprint a third of a meter in length on July 26, 1998, had members of a Saskatchewan Okemos First Nation reserve looking for signs of an elusive creature called Sasquatch. Curiosity seekers point out that the tracks coincide with the disappearance of a dog and a bull on the Beardies and Okemos First Nation Reservation in northern Saskatchewan. The footprints were spotted by Janet Campbell, who was jogging near her home. Her husband and his brother videotaped the tracks after realizing how easily they could be washed away. In an effort to determine the actual nature of the footprints, the Campbells contacted the RCMP, the University of Saskatchewan, and their reservation elders. Since word of the mysterious visitor leaked out, the Campbell property has been overrun with curious people seeking a glimpse of the Bigfoot. Cite Ray Gavel, Kingston Whig Standard News article, Ontario, Canada, 1998. To be continued, and thank you for listening. There will be many parts to the reading of this book. If you like this reading, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to be sure to catch the future parts. We welcome comments, but please be considerate of others. If you have had an experience with or about Bigfoot, cryptids, UFOs, paranormal, or any other strange happenings and would like to share them on our channel to be read, please email them to sharingofstrangestories@gmail.com. Our goal is to establish a channel that can provide an outlet for people to speak freely of their experiences without ridicule from others. There are many of us out there that have had these experiences and have felt that ridicule, but ridicule will not be welcome here. Emails will be read on our channel, so please keep them family friendly. If you want to remain anonymous and do not want your name read to the public, please put that at the beginning of the email or in the subject line. Thanks again for listening and stay safe.